I'll give an overview of the legal situation, legal issues, and Charles will follow with an in-depth analysis of the political situation. What is clear is Canadians nationwide from coast to coast have taken a stand against the Liberal disarmament agenda and its latest manifestations in Bill C-71, the May 1st, 2020 OIC, and Bill C-21. The lack of enthusiasm and support for the Liberal agenda in most provinces, save the most advanced in adopting the civil disarmament agendas, is obvious. Lack of enthusiasm and support for the Liberal gun agenda among Canada's law enforcement agencies and professionals, save the most politically motivated, bear stark witness to how out of touch the Liberals are with regular Canadians. The Liberals give violent criminals who use firearms to get out of jail free card on sentencing while targeting the rights and property of regular Canadians. Justin Trudeau and Bill Blair are truly friends of criminal offenders. There's just no other way to put it. As of this time, the provisions of and the full brunt of Bill C-71 has still not been imposed. The absence of transparency and the total lack of communication from Canada Firearms Program ensures that the majority of firearms owners, users, and businesses will once again be sideswiped by regulation if and when CFP decides to strike. This has been the hallmark of the Canadian Firearms Program since its imposition back in the 1990s. Firearms owners and users and businesses are deliberately put in regulatory and legal jeopardy by the bureaucracy that is politically motivated and directed, whose mandate and goal is firearms license refusal, revocation, aggressive prosecution, and confiscation of property. Legally, we finally have clarification, or at least direction from CFOs nationally, that newly purchased restricted firearms cannot be transported on long-term ATTs, authorizations to transport, with registration certificate number only, as contained on the transfer notification buyers receive before receiving the permanent registration by email. As most of you know, when you purchase a new restricted firearm, transfer process is done at point of purchase, and when the transfer is approved, a new registration certificate number is issued and can be supplied to the buyer in something called a transfer notification. In the past, there was some question, does this constitute an actual registration certificate? The new number is on the transfer notification. Is that not the registration? CFOs have finally formed a policy on this, and according to them, the answer is no. Apparently, newly purchased firearms can be recovered and transported from the point of purchase to the place of registration, but not to a range or shooting club. So the policy becomes, you can recover the firearm, you can take it to the place of registration. However, you are not authorized to transport the firearm until you actually receive the permanent registration. At this point in time, CFOs in most provinces are approving transfers without proof of club membership, issuing registrations for newly purchased firearms based on only the name of a club the individual intends to join. Of course, this is different in Ontario. The license is then reissued with long-term ATT attached. And again, there's just no direction from CFO on recovery or transfer firearms with a licensed registration holder does not yet have long-term ATT attached to those firearms. What all of this begs the question, when is a firearms registration certificate not a firearms registration certificate? If you possess the firearms registration certificate number, and this can be verified, is one not holding a registration? If that registration certificate number is contained on a transfer notification, is it not still a valid registration? If the registration certificate number is possessed by the holder in electronic form, is it not still a registration? Well, according to CFO, the answer is no. A little beige paper card is the registration and nothing else. And they want you to carry that and provide it if requested. CFP and CFO have chased many issues and questions like this down the rabbit hole over the years, and they never fail to arrive at the most bizarre interpretation or policy possible. That's the nature of the beast we know as the Firearms Program. There obviously is some kind of mysterious recipe for enhancing public safety at play here that we mere mortals could never understand, but not having attended gun control bureaucrat school. The biggest issue here in BC, of course, is Bill 4, and Sheldon and I will be addressing that in our provincial director's report later. Those are the probably the most apparent legal issues at this time, and I thank you for your attention.